Hi there. My name is Peter Zhu, and today I'll tell you about some of our work investigating how children use mental simulation to reason about their performance. This is joint work with Chloe Chang, Toby Gerstenberg, and Hyo Guan. So, young children face the difficult task of figuring out which challenges to pursue. And from prior work, we know that children can make these decisions based on observed performance outcomes, such as their past successes or failures. But observed performance isn't always available or necessarily diagnostic of our true abilities. So here, we show that children are able to go beyond using their observed performance. They can also use imagined performance outcomes obtained using mental simulation in order to inform decisions about persistence and task choice. So to do this, we had children play a virtual soccer game, and in order to play the game, they had to blow into the bottom of this yellow box here, which seemingly launched a ball from the bottom of the screen to the top of the screen. And in reality, the ball's trajectory was always predetermined, but children thought it depended on how they blew air into the box. So, we conducted two experiments using this paradigm. In experiment one, we investigated how children would reason in the absence of direct observable outcomes. So, in this study, the experimenter first demonstrated the game, then children attempted the game 3 times, all of which missed. On the critical fourth trial, the ball's trajectory differed between conditions. In the almost condition, the ball appeared to head straight for the goal, and in the miss condition, the ball veered for a miss. In both conditions, the game froze before actually reaching its final outcome, indicated by that little gray circle, the buffering icon, and ultimately no final outcome was actually displayed. Critically, the Euclidean distance between the final position of the ball and the goal was matched across conditions. And then the experimenter asked children, do you want to wait for me to restart this game, or do you want to play a different game right now? And even though all children had the exact same experience in terms of the actual observed outcomes, children's responses differed across conditions. Children in the almost condition, whose ball would have gone into the goal if the game didn't freeze, were more likely to persist at the game compared to those in the miss condition. So in this experiment, the only information children had was the expected trajectory of the ball because the game froze in the middle. But we also wondered about cases where children do experience a clear outcome, like say a miss, but it's not diagnostic of their true abilities. So the question is, can children prioritize using a simulated outcome over an actual outcome? And experiment 2 addresses this question. So to do this, we had them play the same soccer game, but this time an agent called a Gazorp was present on trials 3, 4, and 5. And this Gazorp could alter the ball's trajectory. And critically, the actual trajectories of the ball and the final outcomes were matched across conditions. The only thing that varied across conditions was the location of the goal. And in the help condition, the ball was clearly veering for a miss, and the Gazorp appeared to help, albeit unsuccessfully. And in the hinder condition, the ball was clearly going towards the goal, but the Gazorp tossed the ball off track. Then children were asked, do you want to play with the Gazorp or without the Gazorp? Now, it's important to remember that children always missed in both conditions. So if children only use the actual observed outcomes, we wouldn't expect a difference between conditions. However, if children can consider what would have happened without the Gazorp intervening on the ball's trajectory, we would see a different response between conditions. In the help condition, children may not have succeeded without the Gazorp, so they might want to keep it. And in the hinder condition, children would have succeeded had the Gazorp not intervened, so they might want to play without the Gazorp. Data collection is still ongoing as of July 15th, but currently we're seeing a pattern that's consistent with these predictions. So we take these results to suggest that children can use mental simulation to reason about their performance and guide decisions about how to pursue future tasks. And there are a lot of future questions we're interested in this space, so don't hesitate to reach out to chat or ask me any questions you have. Thanks.